Louisiana. She's got a soul like Tennessee. She had her eyes on Colorado. But ain't no Rocky Mountain High gonna take my girl from me. She had her mind on the little things, but she had her heart on so much more. I knew from the start she could be my thing, but then she took me down the same old dirty roads I'd been before. Well, maybe we can be better, darling. Or maybe we'll always be fussing and fighting. Oh, I love you, oh, but I've got no time for these petty things. So I'm headed down to New Orleans. Know that you'll always be in my heart, sweet darling. You'll be in every song I write, and every single dream I dream.
Hello and welcome to the King's Quarters with Aaron King. I am Aaron King, and today we have our guest Ben Collins, our best guest Ben Collins, our
Yeah.
first guest, as
Number
this is
one,
our
baby.
first episode.
First episode.
Ben is a songwriter here in Springfield, Missouri with me. And you come from Louisiana, right?
Yeah, I'm from Monroe. Lord, here's a problem when I tell people where I'm from. You say you're from Louisiana, there's like two assumptions. You're either from Baton Rouge or New Orleans.
New Orleans, yep.
And I'm from neither. I'm from about 3.5 hours north of Baton Rouge and about 5 hours north of New Orleans. So, I mean, it's funny. It's faster to go through Mississippi to get to New Orleans from where I live than it is to go through Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah. Because there's like this highway. That's not important.
But has that affected the culture of music that you grew up with? Is that as like a
Being
smaller
from
area?
Louisiana? No, because North Louisiana it's just like Texas.
Yeah, so it's kind of like here in Springfield.
Yeah,
It's kinda
it's got you got your
jumble up of.
Yeah. There's all kind of people in North Louisiana.
That's cool though.
So it's pretty interesting. I think my biggest, if I had to say that I had a musical influence from my area, probably Jerry Lee Lewis. He's always held a little bit of fame because he's from Tallulah, which is like right down the highway from where I'm from. And Tim McGraw's actually from the Monroe area.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's like a super country star. I do not identify with Tim McGraw. But yeah, I'm from Monroe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we've been playing music together for a little bit now.
Yeah.
We've got our group King Size.
Yes.
And we actually have a gig coming up soon.
Yeah, this Saturday.
What's the date?
The 26th.
The 26th of what month are we in?
It's February. It's a Mardi Gras party.
It's a Mardi Gras party. It'll be the Saturday after. Not this. Is it this Saturday?
It's this Saturday.
This Saturday. I cannot keep my schedules together. It'll be this Saturday after seeing this
It's
video.
okay.
So
I booked us like 7 gigs in one day, so
Yeah.
it's okay to be confused. I get it.
I'm in a number of bands, so
No, especially I mean, that makes sense.
And yeah, as you heard at the beginning of the video, we just played one of your original songs. What was the name of that song?
That's No Time.
No Time.
Yeah.
And that is just such a fun song to play.
It's a lot of fun.
For those that kind of want to know what I'm doing here with this podcast and everything, is I have all these musician friends. I play the bass, I play the guitar, I play multiple instruments, mostly the bass. So I figured this podcast would be a good way to show off these people's music and let me play with them also. Show off different versions of these songs with just different instrumentation, different ways to play them. So you just heard the two of us as a duo performance playing, what was it called again?
No Time.
No Time. And then, and through this series, I'm going to have several artists around, and I'm going to learn these songs basically the day of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. These songs we played once or twice before.
I sent you a recording of that song, actually. I'm pretty sure you didn't listen to it.
Yeah, he sent me a recording that I didn't listen to, and then he shows me the chords the day of. But this is not about me. This is about you. And anymore, you've also got Birds on the Street. Yeah, you're working on that.
Yeah. That one's kind of taking a little bit of a back burner at the moment.
Yes.
But I guess stylistically, they're a lot different from what I do personally and what I'm doing with King Size.
Yes. Which a lot of musicians seem to do that. A lot of musicians in town seem to do that.
Yeah. Well, but for myself, I like diversifying because it expands what I can do. Just personally for my own music, I didn't really start, exploring much so far as my songwriting and the way that I, play songs until I joined. I started Birds on the Street with Jacob Ferguson, and playing with him, you know how he plays. He's super good at playing those Hendrix style chords.
Yeah.
And those.
He's got an ear.
He's got a really good ear. He's got a really good ear too. But he's got a lot of knowledge as well, which is good. But yeah, and so that was more of like I don't know, psychedelic blues funk. I guess.
Psychedelic blues funk.
I guess that's what Birds on the Street music is. I mean, you've heard it, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, once I get through more of these podcasts, everyone's really going to find out my views about genres and describing and stuff. Cause it's important, but it's also kind of silly.
Well, I mean, you can say it's silly, but I mean, like, if you can't.
But you have to describe it though, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't say I play some notes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've been saying that my entire life. It's just notes and rhythms, man.
Yeah, but I mean,
but they are songs.
But there is
that come from a place.
Okay, but punk is just playing some notes.
Yeah.
But like metal is also just playing some notes.
Yeah.
But those are two very different genres.
Genres within the rock umbrella.
Yeah, it's under the same umbrella, but I mean, even then, like. I mean, you hear there's some punk out there, like Johnny Hobo and the Freight Trains. You hear that, and you're not going to call that rock, are you? I mean,
there you go. It's all interconnected, and it's amazing that way.
Yeah.
And that's more power to all of us to make the more music that we can.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of why I want to be in as many groups as I can.
Yep.
Because I like making music, I like songwriting, and when I get involved with a different sound, it gets my creative gears turning faster, and it gives me different ideas of ways I can approach writing a song that's going to sound better with the unit I'm with, rather than just playing the same songs and trying to get people around me who complement my sound.
Yeah,
I want to create a new sound with new people.
That's just, I mean, you're starting to talk about songwriting, which is one of the biggest hurdles that any of us musicians have.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've always been able to write songs. I never really struggled with it.
Yeah.
When I was writing poetry forever, from when I was like 10 or 11. Then I got a guitar when I was 13, and I had been in choir for forever, and I'd never tried to write a song before. And I guess that kind of poetry background helped me when I started writing.
For sure.
Yeah, when I started.
I don't have that.
Yeah, well, if you want to learn how to write songs, start writing poetry first.
That's good advice.
That's going to do a lot. That's going to do a whole lot for you.
You get the structure. You get.
They
pull from the same stuff. So
study that. Study that iambic pentameter and iambic tetrameter.
Yep.
That's going to go a long way for you. I lost. I got to talking and lost.
Yeah, no, I was gonna lead to like that because it does seem in my experience that there are kind of two ways a group can go about songwriting, and you kind of touched on both of them, which is one is a person brings in a fully developed song pretty much, and the group is left to write around it, or
kind of fill in the gaps, if you will.
Yeah. Or there's this song that starts from scratch or nothing that the group kind of builds completely together. That's just from my own personal
favorite.
experience.
I think you get the most diversity of sound when you have more minds building something together, and that's true just like across the board.
That's that. I don't know. That's just this is just music making, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing and frustrating because then you deal with the personalities that have like the that have different ideas of how things sound.
I'm talking about myself a little bit here when I say this, but musicians can be some of the most egotistical people.
Yeah.
Especially people who are talented. Like you go to an open mic, and some of the ones around here, particularly, I won't name any, but some of them, there's just so much talent at the one open mic that. It's hard to go as a new musician and go play.
Yeah.
When the guy before you has like 7 albums released, he tours all the time. He's a professional musician, and he shows up and plays an open mic. You know what I'm saying? And that can be discouraging. A lot. But I mean, open mics are a really good way.
Oh, for sure.
Because you can be as good as you want in your bedroom, or laying on your couch in your living room, but it's a whole different beast when you stand up in front of people playing something you wrote. You know what I mean? Especially when you get to that.
Yeah, you're talking about open mics, but you take the next step braver and go out on the street.
Oh yeah. Well, I personally feel like it takes a lot more bravery. From my perspective, it takes a lot more bravery to get up on stage, because the way that I look at it, when you're on the street, nobody's there to listen to you play. They're there to go about their day and do what they're there to do. So I mean, you get a lot of people who don't even give you a sideways look, and I think that is what gave me confidence, because I felt like no one was paying attention and I could just play music and be ignored.
Yeah.
And
that's so funny, because that's the confidence that you have to develop on stage, where it's like, you're on stage, but it doesn't matter. You have the confidence. It doesn't matter. Because it.
Well, yeah, no, and that's it's took playing on, because before that I tried to play on stage at like open mics. I played a couple shows. I did a lot of weddings when I was really young. That's where I really got my foot in the door. But all that, like, I knew people were going to be watching me. Yeah. And I have had I don't have anymore. I had serious stage fright. Yeah. And I just it took me playing on the street, and having a random person come up and say, do you have any music on the internet? Do you have a business card? Do you have this? Do you have that? Yeah. That's what it took for me to realize, okay, I'm good enough at this that I can stand on a stage and not be afraid.
I mean, what you're talking about with the playing on the street, asking me for business cards, that really just reminds me of my jazz days. Yeah. Whenever I was younger, I was like, 20, 21. With these couple of guys I was playing jazz music with. We all lived in the same house together, and we would play at the farmers market over on the south side of town. And
are you over on Battlefield?
Over by not Battlefield, Flintstone and Republic.
Oh, okay, that one. The other one, it's like inside of an apartment complex or something like that.
Before that was an apartment complex, there used to be just a blank gravel field there that they would have this farmer's market.
Yeah, like a huge one?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, that's cool.
And somehow, like, our drummer was an agricultural guy, so he got us the in to play there. It was like, that was a gig. Nice. There was no money. Like, they did not pay us at all, but we had tips. But since it was the farmer's market, we actually had tips. Yeah. And that helped get us wedding gigs, and and that ball just kind of kept rolling. For me, I say this all the time. It's like I was just the bass player in that situation. The guy I was working with was I guess we were just a good good group to work with, because it was easy. Yeah. Reminds me of Thelonious Monk, famous jazz piano player. Okay. He has this list that someone wrote down of things that he said, advice. One of the things that he said is like, never ask for a gig, just be on the scene.
Hey, I like that. I like that.
And that's really the best way it's worked for me, is that I've just been around.
Yeah,
and then stuff happens, and then you just go go with the flow. Before this podcast, I think you said those words, like, that's the way of the musician.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, especially here. So I've only lived here for like 4 years or so, and I think I worked really hard at establishing myself, and first my first little bit, for the first little while, I kind of got known as the guy who plays on South Street.
Yeah.
Because I was out there probably 4 or 5 days out of the week.
Yeah.
And then I settled down a little bit, got a job, met my wife, did all this stuff, and now I'm more known for playing with Birds on the Street.
Yeah.
Or playing. I still play on South Street from time to time. When the weather's nice and I just want to play music for people, I'll still go do that from time to time. And I got to say that this town is really, for the majority, and there are some exceptions, but for the majority, this is a really welcoming town to outsiders. And like I say, there are people who will definitely try to keep you from having success here because if you're not from here. But that's a very, very vocal minority, and I love this town because of that. Because I really, call me, I guess, a transplant, if you will. But I didn't really have any roots anywhere, so I wasn't a transplant. I just decided this was my home. And, this is where I live now.
That's awesome.
So I mean.
Awesome. I think that's a good place to wrap up this conversation.
Yeah.
This has been a fascinating conversation.
Yeah, really?
I think so.
Okay.
So we got King Size. We're playing this Saturday.
Yes, this Saturday at it's a Mardi Gras party at Moon City Pub on C Street.
City Pub.
That's 420. Should be easy to remember. 420 West Commercial Street. It's West Commercial Street or East Commercial Street. If you go to 420 West and it's not there, go to 420 East and you'll find it.
Awesome. And for everyone listening, go to our King Size Instagram, Facebook, such.
You can probably just type up King Size Springfield on Facebook and find us. On Instagram, just at King Size Bluegrass.
Awesome. And yes, and also please go check out my channel, Sessions at Royal Court Studios on Patreon. My goal with all of this is to help get musicians get a stage and get music out there and not have to have so much of it come out of their own pocket. I'm hoping that with this Patreon, I can get money from our audience funneled into us through the musicians so it can be paid to make content.
The more Patreons he has, he's trying to do this for a living so that he can focus on the real end goal, which is promoting the local music scene here. Not really just a local, just like singers and singer-songwriters who don't have an audience.
Who don't have an audience and don't have the funds to make it. Because it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time to do this. And the more money that we are giving to the artists, the more time they can spend on their art.
Oh yeah, and I've already seen. I mean, you only recorded what, like 8-9 people?
Yeah, I've just started, but I'm putting out a new artist every 2 weeks. That's the goal.
My point is, I've already heard some artists on like that. Billy, I can't remember his full name, but he's really good. He's got super Neil Young kind of I guess a punky Neil Young kind of vibe to him, so I like it quite a bit.
I hope to find more and more people, so I'll keep this going as long as I can. All right, and that's it for the King's Quarters with Aaron King. This was Ben Collins with me. Thank you very much for joining me, and you all have a good rest of your day.
When I think of heaven, I see your little face. Well, you may never know it, but if you didn't come along, I'll be gone by today. And I try was sleeping like an angel in bed, and I can't help but show it. You got my heart on a string. Don't misunderstand, I love your mama, but I missed her road. She wears her heart on her sleeve, so I can't even tell her the truth. But I'll sing it for you.